Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. It's Christopher Leon Johnson here. So we're at 111 Century Street, where the second arrest of Mr. Obhebshalom will commence. These organizations here, these progressive organizations, Met Council of Housing and stuff like that, they are going to have a press conference about this situation. So while we're here,
Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight. 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 Housing is a human right. Y no nos vamos. Aquí estamos. 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 Y no nos vamos.
What do we want?
Housing.
Justice. When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Housing justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Housing justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Housing justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Housing justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
No more tenant betrayals. Shalom, you're going to jail. No more tenant betrayals. Shalom, you're going to jail.
No more tenant betrayal. Shalom, you're going to jail. No more tenant betrayal. Shalom, you're going to jail. No more tenant betrayal. Shalom, you're going to jail. No more tenant betrayal. Shalom, you're going to jail. What? No more tenant betrayal. Shalom, you're going to jail. What? No more tenant betrayal. Shalom, you're going to jail. I'm serious. No more tenant betrayal. Shalom, you're going to jail. I'm serious. No more tenant betrayal. Shalom, you're going to jail.
Hello? Okay. Thank you so much for being here. I'm just giving a few more minutes for other tenants to show up, and we start the presser is about 103. I say we start like 110. We'll give them 7 more minutes just to like get here. We're also waiting on our ED that he's walking down. I appreciate all the guys that are showing up. As you know, today is a very important day for the tenants of 705 and 709. And all the Shalom tenants, because let's be mindful, this is not an issue that is going on in just two of his buildings. It's every single one of his buildings. So all of the tenants here today are important and they matter. Because we are seeking justice for every single one of them, and for them to finally have a good living condition, something as simple as that. So thank you so much for being here and just giving us the opportunity to once and for all continue to call out that Daniel Shalom must be held accountable, and finally the tenants can live a better life. This has been going on for years. I've been with the tenants for 3 months organizing, and in just 3 months, I would say I have witnessed things that is inhumane in just a matter of a few weeks. Myself, I've been able to see the harassment, the conditions in the buildings, the vacant apartments that are infested with mice, pigeons, all things and forms that can be abandoned. So thank you so much for being here. I'm going to pass it on to Senator Robert Jackson to share his words and his support today.
Hi everyone, so thank you for coming out in order to protest against this slumlord, landlord, with respect to the two buildings and obviously other buildings in his portfolio. It's not that this guy doesn't have the money to do the repairs and make it a living place for the residents that live there. He doesn't want to do it. That's right. And as a result of that, he doesn't want to do it, he's going to jail. That's right. And that's what it's about. So you fix the housing and you pay the price, or you go to jail. We are tired of people coming and trying to take advantage of us. I was talking to one of the tenants. Well, where's the brother at? There he is. We were talking how on a cold, freezing morning, he was in blankets, 3 or 4 deep, in clothes, and you know, he was still freezing, shivering. Neighbor made him come out of there and go to her house. If not, he may not be standing here today.
All right.
And that is criminal. Not just not right, that's criminal. But the landlord has an obligation to fulfill their share of the bargain.
Hell yeah.
And the tenants were paying their share. So this is one thing that we don't want. We don't want any landlord that thinks that they can come and take advantage of the tenants that they represent. And that's why we have Met Council on Housing. Met Council on Housing, our home, our future. Housing for people, not for profit. Housing for people, not for profit.
People, not for profit. Housing for people,
Say what?
not for profit.
Say what?
Housing for people,
Say what?
not for profit.
Say what?
Housing for people, not for profit.
Say what?
Housing for people, not for profit.
You got it. You know it because you've lived it. And quite frankly, it's a damn shame that we have to come down here to right here in the housing court in order to bring the type of justice that we want to see. I mean, listen, this guy was in California, and now I don't know where he is, he's in jail or whatever, but we want him to go back to jail and maybe come back and live in one of the apartments that is broken up, no ceiling, no heat, no hot water. Let him live there and let him feel the way some of our residents feel.
That's right.
But when the residents get angry and, you know, do what they can do by coming to their elected public officials through a community-based organization, Met Council on Housing. How many of you are members of Met Council on Housing? Raise your hand. I know I am. I put $20 in every pay period in order to make sure that we keep Met Council on Housing. I say that to all of you. This is so important because housing is a what, right?
Human right.
Housing is a what?
Human right.
We all deserve to live in housing that is human rights, clear of roaches, clear of little rodents that are running inside the walls, making sure that the apartment building has heat and hot water and electricity, and making sure that the tenants in their safety, that the door locked and people are not being in the home and doing things that you don't want to talk about. So with that, before we begin, I'll turn it back over.
Thank you so much. I'll give a second to put in the mind of the podium. Thank you.
So you? Nice to meet you, Amanda.
Thank you so much, Senator Jackson, for those powerful words. And talking about power, I'm going to pull in this tenant that I just met again 3 months ago. But he has been the definition of what tenant power is and what is showing up and being fed up with all of this situation is. Tenant Guilford Boucher, he has been a long time tenant in the building of Obhebshalom, and not just a tenant leader.
Yes!
He has taken on the role of standing here not just today, but several other times just to represent his tenant association because they are tired of just the living conditions that they live. So thank you so much, Gilbert, for once again taking from your time. I know you just this morning told me like, hey, I have a big project that I started, and you being here today means the world to us and your tenants' neighbors.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming. We're all here today because of one man. One man. But the problems that we're experiencing is bigger than just that one man. Can you hear me? Yes, can you hear me? Yes. Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. We're all here today because of one man. But the problems we're dealing with here are bigger than just this one man. Mr. Obhebshalom has shown us who and what he is for years, neglecting our buildings. We have neighbors struggling and fighting cancer, dealing with chemotherapy while at the same time dealing with not having heat and hot water. Imagine the pressure that puts on one's mind and body. We have ceiling collapsing in kids' rooms and nothing. When we contact them, no reply. Yes? No reply. We have the smell of decaying rats, the odor lingering in the apartments day and night of those tenants that live on the ground floor near the basement. Imagine smelling that day and night, how sick that can make one feel. Whatever this man is going through now doesn't begin to cover the hardship that we've been through all these decades. So what I say is this man should not be allowed to own not one single building in this city. That's right! Not one. We want to turn our buildings into affordable co-ops.
Yeah. Give it to the tenants! Give it
That's
to
right.
the tenants!
That's right. So that we don't have to worry about another landlord coming in and doing the exact same thing. Yes? We need to fight for what we want, and that's what we're doing. We're fighting for what we want. So that's what I have to say. Thank you all for coming.
Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight. Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight. Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight.
so much. As I said when we started, this is not a just two-building issue. This is an issue in every single one of Daniel Obhebshalom's buildings. He doesn't care. He just doesn't believe in giving people human decency of having a nice place to live. I will call in Peter Griffin, who is another tenant from one of his buildings, that will also speak on the conditions that he is facing, not in 705 or 709, but in another completely building that we might not be hearing about as much, but it's also happening right under our noses. Thank you.
My name is Peter Griffin. I moved into 331 in 1979. Over 20 years ago, my building was sold. Over 20 years ago, my building was sold. Daniel Obhebshalom became the new management. So it changed overnight. It turned into a disaster. With no garbage, recycling, that was all piling up, unsupervised maintenance workers, housing violation, harassing behavior. Some of my neighbors in the building discovered the original form tenants line. We soon realized that at least a half dozen family members were buying over 100 similar buildings. My building, as well as two other Daniel's buildings back in the day, were found to have harassment by DHCR. In 2020, the building hit a new low. Broken front door lock, no intercom, filthy floors, no 22nd warehouse, unlivable apartments, a wave of squatters, plumbing leaks, 3 in my ceiling alone, storefront frequently filling with lobby with the stench of their breath. And we still have no elevator service since December 22, no gas service since April 23. This has resulted in a new DHCR rent reduction order. We're here to be trained to see what the punishment will be for Daniel. We tenants in 331 just want a sound building with no violations. I just want to start to thank my neighbors in the building who've been so steady through the struggle, our legal representatives at Patriot Justice, Ryan Field, Yaka from Cooper Square, Mark from HCC, all the other tenant organizers involved, tenants, our dedicated elected officials and press. Without you, we would not have gotten this far. It's not over. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter! All right, Peter! Fight!
Housing is a human right. Fight. Housing is a human right. Fight. Housing is a human right.
Thank you so much, Peter. Yes! Thank you so much, Peter. Just to share a little bit of what Peter said, he has been a tenant since 1979 at 331 East 14th Street. So he's been a long-time resident. Since 20 years ago, the building was sold. Daniel Obhebshalom became the manager. Overnight, the building turned into a disaster. No super garbage was not being collected. They soon realized that they were falling into conditions that they've been hearing about. His building, as well as 2 other of Daniel's buildings, were found for harassment by DHCR. In 2020, the building hit a new low, broken front doors, no intercom. Just terrible situations. We had squatters, plumbing leaks. 3 in my cities alone fell. Now, we are here today to see what the next punishment for Daniel will be. We tenants at 331 just want a sound building with no violations. To start, I want to thank my neighbors in the building for being steady through the struggle. Our legal representation, TRJ, Ryan and Fred, and Ilapa from Cooper Square. Without you, you would not have gotten this far, and it's not over. We still need your help. Thank you.
Yeah! Thank you.
Awesome. Now I will call in another powerful elected that has been standing in support of tenants throughout all this fight. Council Member Carmen de la Rosa, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank the tenants for continuing to come out. This is what speaking truth to power looks like, right? Daniel Obhebshalom is the worst landlord in New York City.
That's right!
The tenants of 170th Street in my district have literally had their lives at risk because of the negligence of this landlord.
It ain't right.
It ain't right, and we're not gonna take it anymore.
That's right.
So we are here today, standing with tenants, asking that an example be made of Daniel Obhebshalom.
That's right.
That we send a message to this city that you cannot treat tenants like shit and get away with it. There are seniors, there are cancer patients and survivors in these buildings. There are people confined to wheelchairs in this building. And let me tell you, when you walk through these buildings, what you see feces of rodents and birds because windows have been left unsecured. You see garbage piling up. You see flooding. And that is just conditions that come from the outside of the building. When you walk in, you see the remnants of a tenant who died maybe 20 years ago and an apartment that has been left vacant and warehoused when New York City is in a housing crisis and those apartments can be used to house working class New Yorkers. Daniel Obhebshalom is refusing to do his duty as a landlord and rent those apartments out.
And warehousing today.
And warehousing right now. And in addition to that, when you walk into apartments that are inhabited by people, you ask yourself, how can someone live here when there are gaping holes in the ceilings and cracks on the floor and lead and every single condition unimaginable that a person can live in? This is not what dignity looks like. This is what abuse and neglect looks like. And Daniel Obhebshalom's actions are criminal. Make no mistake about it. His actions are criminal. And so we stand today and we will continue to stand with the tenants of these buildings, not only asking for justice, but asking for the city of New York to take these buildings out of the control of someone who has neglected the lives of people and give control back to our community.
Hello?
When you put the landlord that is living in one building, look at the pattern.
Hello?
They're not just doing this with one person.
Yeah.
They're doing it